Coach, this past weekend y'all competed in the ITA South Central Regional in Tyler with a bunch of new girls. Just talk about the impressions that the new girls made and how your returners fared.
Yeah, it was a pretty good weekend. Ended up having a late, the last minute, one of our girls wasn't able to go, so we had to change around a doubles team, and we were one short heading up to there. So, we're just looking to, like I said last week, just compete hard and get some results, wherever we could. And, singles started off okay. I mean, everyone got at least one win on the first day, so that was nice. So all the new girls got their first taste at a win in a real fall tournament, and for Margot and MJ also, they weren't even here in the fall last year, so even some of our returners, it was new experience for them. And so yeah, I mean, everyone got at least one win on the first day in singles. We had we only had one seeded player, so some of our girls had to play seeded players in the first round. So we got a little bit of bad luck in the draw, but that happens in tennis. But from the first day of singles was I thought pretty good. There's a couple of matches that we definitely I think could have won that we didn't close out, but also some good wins there. And then doubles was not great on the first day. I wasn't very pleased with a couple of our doubles performances on the first day. Again, too, those were all new doubles teams. They'd never played, in a real college match together, and we just got slow starts on a couple of them, and that sometimes happens. That's not okay, but it does happen, especially if you're kind of unsure of what you and your partner are going to do, and kind of don't know your identity as a doubles team yet. So a couple of them were a little bit disappointing, although I kind of expected that Margot and Sasha would be able to kind of put some things together, and they did pretty well. They beat the 3 seeds in the second match on the first day, and they ended up making it all the way to the semifinals. They beat the 3 seeds and the 5 seeds, and ended up losing in the semis. I think they have an outside chance of getting an at-large into ITA Cup. We won't know about that for a couple weeks. But they did pretty well in doubles. Could be better if we stick them together for a little bit longer. I think they can build a little bit. And then the other doubles teams, I mean, we just need more time. They need more experience. Can't get off to a slow start in college doubles. It just goes so fast. And so that was the biggest problem, is we got off to some slow starts in those doubles. But singles, like I said, was pretty good. Everyone got a win on the first day. And then a couple of the girls, had some good wins in the back draw as the tournament went on. And then, the highlight was Margot Renee. She made it to the final. She didn't drop a set in her first 5 matches. Taking out some really good players. I mean, she beat the 1 seed in the tournament, like 2-2, which was really impressive. In her quarterfinal match, she beat probably one of the most physical players in the conference, Terlizzi from St. Mary's. I think she beat her maybe 4-1 or something. I mean, she played really well, and so that was pretty impressive for Margot in her first fall tournament. Obviously, she was a top 25 player last year. I think that's where she's going to be this year as well. At least when it's all said and done. But yeah, really good result for her. And then in the finals, we got off to a super slow start. I mean, the girl she plays a very unorthodox style, has some strokes that can cause some problems. She's a grad transfer from a D1, so I mean, this girl has a ton of experience, and it just took us too long to kind of get things sorted out. Nastia actually had a good match with this girl in the round of 16, and played her close in both sets. And then, we did get things figured out in the second set of the final. Margot she was up 5-4, had a chance to maybe, take it to 3 sets. And if she could have done that, I do think she could have won it, because Margot was playing better as the match went on, and we'd kind of figured some things out. We're just in too big of a hole after the first set. But really good performance from Margot. I think she has a pretty good chance of making ITA Cup as a finalist at large. We won't know that for probably another 10 days or so, but we'll see. But overall, pretty good event.
And we've talked about your team's youth this season, a lot of incoming freshmen. So just in a nutshell, what must be done, or what can the returning sophomores do to help acclimate the incoming freshmen as the season progresses?
as the tournament went on, as the tournament gets smaller and smaller, that's kind of like the thing about tennis tournaments is like, as the better players keep going farther in the tournament, there's fewer people there, and so when it gets down to the last day and a half, it's really only the players who have been playing well, and a lot of times it's a lot of the same teams that have multiple players there, and the vibe of our team definitely got better as the team went on, or as the tournament went on. Just the energy that came from the sidelines, which obviously is not as big of a deal in a fall tournament, but in the spring it'll be absolutely crucial. And our team did a really good job of, supporting themselves and supporting their teammates. So I really did like that, and I think the more that the returning girls can keep showing the freshmen, what it means to be a college tennis player, especially one, at a team with the standards that we have here. I think we'll continue to get better and better at that. We have, depending on if Sasha and Margot, or if Margot get an at-large into the ITA Cup, if they don't, we won't have another event for like 4 weeks. So there's going to be a lot of training, a lot of learning that goes on, over the next 4 weeks until we see what happens there. But yeah, I mean I think definitely the new girls now, their kind of eyes are open to what it's like in a college event, and how much energy it takes, how much enthusiasm it takes, how much of the match is played in between the points, which I think there was no way for them to know that before they really got into it, but now they've seen it. So hopefully they can take their impressions of what they saw there and be a better performer the next time we go out. I mean, tennis wise, I don't have a ton of complaints. I mean, it was more just like we got off to slow starts, and we didn't always compete the best in the right moments, but a lot to learn, and that's what the fall's for.
Coach, you've heard your thoughts on how you thought the girls did. What's the overall atmosphere, in the locker room? Like, how are the girls feeling about how they did?
Yeah, I mean, this team I feel is going to be, kind of like our teams of the past, where they're going to really get along well with each other. They're going to have a lot of fun. They supported, their teammates really, really hard as they, played in the final 2 days, and the team meals are fun and the van rides are fun. I mean, this is a group where it's such a small group that like they everyone really does get to know everyone really well, and we have player-coach interactions on a one-to-one basis literally multiple times a day. So we do have the luxury of being able to have a really close team, and so I think that for the other two doubles teams did not do as well, but to be able to see Margot and Sasha make it to the semis was something good for them to see. Like I said, every singles player got at least one win, but to see Margot go all the way to the finals, and for them to see that, like, hey, this is a girl who does the same things that we do in practice. She does the same workouts. She's getting the same coaching from us, and if she can take, I think that was maybe the first ASU player who ever made it to the final of regionals. So it's like to see someone who's their teammate, their contemporary, who's able to do that same thing. Hopefully that shows them that they can be the next girl up to do that in the next fall event or next year. So I think that I don't see any reason why this team isn't just going to get closer and closer and better as the fall goes on. Obviously we gotta get better at some things tennis wise, but as far as I think that the culture of the team and the vibe is in a good place after the first month or so.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.